All right. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Birdview's weekly workshop. Our weekly workshops take place every Tuesday at 1 p.m. EST and 10 a.m. Pacific, where we cover a different topic each week. You can register for our weekly workshop at birdviewpsa.com/events, or you can click on the link here. You can also use the link displayed on the screen here. We do post a list of all of our topics in advance, so you have the opportunity to sign up for multiple sessions at once. I do encourage you to join as many sessions as possible, whether it is a refresher or to learn tips and tricks on how to make the most of Birdview for your project management needs. With each session, we start with a demo. We will start with the demo on the topic we are covering, and then we will allocate the last 10 minutes to go over any questions that you may have. So please feel free to send in your questions or comments in the Q&A chat box. So as you noticed before, our topic today is going to be formulas, custom formula fields, as well as grouping by job role. These are two of the newest enhancements that we have made recently. And in this session, we're going to talk about the fundamentals and the usage of custom formula fields, basically what they are and how you can utilize these fields in your project management needs, as well as the resource planning, which we have a new grouping called job role grouping. So you asked, and we heard, and we are finally providing you with this grouping as well. So this will really help and streamline your planning when you're applying for your future projects. Please note that custom formula fields, as well as resource planning, are permission driven. So you will need access resource planning and manage hard allocations permission to access the resource planning, as well as manage system settings to access the custom formula fields. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our custom formula fields. So I'm going to quickly bring this up here. Come on. All right. So as you can see on the screen here, we have a project that we are working on, and we have a few tasks as well as some estimated hours and costs associated with it. So what we're going to do is, in order to access custom formula fields, we are going to click on the left pane here and select company settings. In company settings, we're going to go to custom fields. And this is where you can add a new custom field, which is pretty similar to what we have done in the past. So to add a new formula field, we are simply going to click add new field. And here we're going to type in, we're going to create a category. So in this case, we're going to say billable labor and expenses, including overhead, right? So what we are going to do is, in the fields for column section here, there are two things that you can select. You can have this custom formula field at a project level, or you can have it at activity level. Right now, these are the only two options available. But if, let's say, you want to further segregate between tasks, request, or issue, you can do that too. However, a custom formula field is not available at customer, user, portfolio, expense, or time entry just yet. So we're going to focus on project and activity level. So here we're going to select all activity types. In field type, we're going to select from a drop-down menu of formula. So we're going to select that there. To add a formula, you can simply click on it, and you'll notice that there's a little description here, type @ to insert a field. So the moment I click here, you'll notice that you see the equal to sign, which indicates that this is a formula field. And I'm going to start typing @ here. So in this case, the two costs or the two expenses that I'm looking at is actual billable labor. So I'm going to select that. And I'm going to say times 1.25, because what I want to do is I want to add a overhead or variable expense to my actual billable labor. So I'm going to say actual billable labor times 1.25, and then I'm going to say plus expenses. So in this case, I'm going to say add the rate again, and I will say billable expenses, actual billable expenses. Now you'll notice, similar to other custom fields, you can limit this field by a portfolio as well. So that way you're not seeing all the formula custom fields at every level. So in this case, we are going to leave it as is and then hit save. All right. So you'll notice that billable labor and expenses, including overhead, is a formula field and has been added to all types, all activity types. Again, just to remind you here, if let's say something needs to change, similar to other custom fields, you will not be able to change field type or field for activity. You can only choose between these three because it says all activity types, but you cannot change this field back to a project. So similar to other custom fields limitations, this is a limitation. However, if let's say you want to come here and continue adding to the formula, you can 100% do that. And then click save. So if let's say you thought, oh, you know what, the billable labor and actual expenses was not supposed to be in all activity types, it was supposed to be at the project level, you can simply drag and move that, and it's, as you'll see, it won't move, right? So you'll have to delete this field and recreate a new custom field at project level. All right, so let's take a look at how this shows up in the front end. So we're going to quickly double check here again. So we've got actual billable labor and actual billable expenses. All right. So let's go back here in the Falcon in the activity center. So now let's go hide that. So we've got actual billable labor here, and I'm gonna hide this as well. So as you can see, we have Misha here as an example. She spent 2 hours working on a proposal. Her billable time was $100 an hour. So her actual billable labor is 200. Now let's bring up our other columns, right? So we're gonna say, let's scroll down to the custom fields, and let's say billable labor, and okay, so we have billable labor, that's including overhead. It is a field that I created earlier, and so let's bring that up, as well as billable labor and expenses including overhead. So this is a sum of everything. So now if I scroll to the left or right here, you will notice that I had already created this field here that said billable labors, which is actual billable labor times 1.25 to give you 250. And you will notice the same thing here at billable labor and expenses. Now, what happens if, let's say, take a look at the topographical survey, click on the details, and I'll go into financials. Here, as you'll notice, that I have added some planned and actual expenses. So note that we have $50 of actual expenses under this task. So if I close out of here and close out of there, you will notice that topographical survey has $300. So that is 200 plus 25%, so 250, plus the $50 in actual expenses incurred. So you have created as a project manager or an administrator, you have created a custom field and you know the formula. However, a user, whether it's a project manager, in case they don't have the permissions, or another user that has the permission to see all these fields, but they can't really go and edit these fields, what happens? What if they want to see what is included in here? So what they can do is simply click on details, and you can scroll down to the custom fields section here. And notice you'll see these custom fields at the activity or project details section. So here, if you hover over, you'll notice you will see what the actual formula for this calculation is. It is not available at the columns section in the activity center. However, if you click on the details of a task, an activity, or a project and hover over, you will be able to see the formula itself. So it will really help you as a user to identify, great, I have this labor and billable expenses, but what does that actually entail? Because sometimes the title may not be as straightforward as the one that we have created for the demo purposes here. All right. Okay, so that's that. One of the things that I want to remind you is that if we want to create custom formula fields, the options available to you are only the ones that are out of the box fields, so native fields. So as an example, let's just do that and create another formula field. If I choose to find a a formula field that I had already created, in this case, let's take billable labor including overhead hours. So I'm going to type in billable labor. So let's quickly take a look. And you will notice that this field, which is billable labor including overhead expenses, is not a part of my list here. Why? Because that was a custom field that I had created for this project. So just a quick reminder, a heads up that any custom formula fields that you create at this point in time cannot be reused in another formula field. So the only options that you have available are the options that are provided natively. Just wanted to give a heads up here. All right, so let's take a look at our resource planning. So let's go back here and go into resources. Let's go into resources. Here we go. System's a little slow. All right. So if you recall, previously we had provided resource planning grouping by resource and project, which is similar to workload here. However, as I mentioned, you asked for it and we delivered. We have a new grouping, job role. So what job role does is now what you can see is all these fields for our project is now categorized into, as an example here is customer success manager, we've got a project manager, QA engineer, and researcher. So anytime a resource is assigned to a project, you will see the little people icon and number of people assigned under that job role. Let's say if you have a unnamed resource assigned to a project, you will see the people icon with a question mark, which is unnamed resource. All right, so let's drill down. All right, so here, as you can see, we've got a customer service based on a customer success manager. We have one who's being used right now under this particular project. And it's Benjamin, right? So now we have the job role, then we have a user or the resource associated with that job role. And then if you further drill down, you will see the projects that they are assigned to. All right, so you'll notice that we also have provided a vacations column here or row, which will indicate any days that a resource is unavailable to work in this table. So it's a great, it's a good thing for a visual reference. All right, so let's do weekly here, and you know what? Let's take the filters off just so we can see how many people are assigned to projects. So as you can see, let's content creator. We've got 3 content creators, and they are all assigned to, different projects. And you can see all the projects that have been assigned to those individuals. So what happens if, let's say, you have, let's say multiple unnamed resources, same within a same job role, right? So let's do a quick filter on a project again, so that when we come back to this, it's easy. And let's go back into Activity Center, right? So Falcon Topography Solutions is a project that was planned and it is currently ongoing, right? So let's add a QA analyst here, so QA engineer here as well. Okay, so now we have QA at survey output draft as well as QA analysis overview, right? So now let's go back to resources. And QA engineer, we've got QA engineer here. Let's do a quick refresh. Okay, so we have customer success, QA engineer, great. Now let's add one more project in here, and let's say ESRI2 as an example. And here we are going to assign QA engineer. And then let's do that. Now let's go back into resources and bring up there. All right. Okay. So now you can see that they are under QA engineer. We've got 2 people, 2 unnamed resources here, which is QA engineer at the Falcon and QA engineer at ESRI. So you'll be able to further see how many QA engineers that you need for a certain project. This does not mean that there are 2 different types of job roles. It's still one job role, and you can see all the details of how many QA engineers are being required to work on projects. So I hope you found this helpful. I please definitely give it a try, play around, and see how job role grouping is working out for you. I find that it is very easy, because if, let's say, as a project manager, if, let's say, you want to assign plan for your resources, you can simply come here and see how many people are already assigned, how many users are already assigned to projects, and what sort of a capacity that they might have to properly plan for your future projects here. Any questions, any comments on custom field formulas or job roles? Okay, none so far. That's okay. Please give it a try. Both job role grouping, if you have access to job resources module, as well as custom field formulas are available to you. Again, they are both permission driven. So you would need the permission settings, especially for custom fields. You will need manage system settings right here. For resources, you need to have access to resource planning module, as well as manage hard allocations if you are managing assigning allocations. So these are the prerequisites to accessing custom fields and resource planning module. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. We have a comment here. The job role feature looks very powerful and handy. Thank you very much. We really hope that you will give it a try and see how it's working out for you. And will we always welcome, feedback from our clients when they test try things for any future enhancements. All right, so if there are no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and let you know about our upcoming workshops. So on October 17th, which is next week, Tuesday, we are going to review portfolio management. So basically, what we're going to cover is what portfolios are and how to effectively use and manage them for your projects. On October 24th, we are going to review Guest Portal. So that is where I'll demonstrate the capabilities and restrictions of users within Guest Portal and how to use Guest Portal to its best for project management and collaboration. And as a reminder again, on October 25th, which is a Wednesday after our workshop, is our monthly webinar, and there we will go over the advanced reporting suite that we have recently enhanced for all of our clients. And this is going to be covered by myself, and we'll have our PBI team as well to answer any of your questions. So please stay tuned. Do go ahead and register for those because I think that will be very effective if, let's say, you are into advanced reporting. I believe that those reports will definitely come in handy for your project management, project analysis, and project success, I guess. All right. Thank you all for joining today's session. I hope you found our topic insightful. As I said before, we do welcome all of your suggestions and recommendations for future topics. And you can send those requests, comments, or questions to success@birdviewpsa.com. The email is also displayed there. We will share this video with you as soon as it is ready for you to have it as a reference for the future. And I hope that you all have a very great day and a week ahead. And I will see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.